Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be making beef tallow. You don't know what beef tallow is? Let's go ahead and ask my friend here, ChatGPT. See what she has to say. So essentially it is a cooking oil. You can substitute it for any cooking oil like canola oil, olive oil, coconut oil. And let me get into the health benefits because this is what really drew me to making beef tallow myself. So it's very nutrient dense. So tallow contains healthy fats, so vitamin A, D, E, and K, which supports cellular function, bone health, and immune systems. It is also a good fat source. It's rich in monosaturated and saturated fats, providing long-lasting energy. Also, you can use it in skincare, which I'm gonna do later on in this video, so stick around for that. So tallow is similar to human skin's natural oils, making it an excellent moisturizer. Also, it is natural and non-toxic. So it's perfect for those avoiding synthetic ingredients in skincare. So I did already start the process. I started it a couple of days ago. I went to the meat market to pick up my fat trimmings. It was a little over 6 pounds and it came out to about 10 bucks. They actually didn't have it that day, but he did get my information and then I was able to come back the following day to pick it up. A couple of nights ago, I started the rendering process by chopping up beef fat and placing it in a cast iron pot, though stainless steel works just as well. If you don't have a lot of fat on hand, you can save beef fat from everyday cooking and meat preparation until you've collected enough to render it. I would store it in the freezer during this process. Chopping the fat is important because it helps it fit into the pot and creates more surface area, allowing it to render down more efficiently. I let the fat slowly render in the oven at 170 Fahrenheit for about 12 hours. During the last hour, I increased the temperature to 250 to ensure it fully melted down. Once the fat was rendered, I used a metal spider to scoop out any remaining solids and strained the liquid fat through a fine metal mesh into a pot. Next, we'll refine the tallow by boiling it with water to remove any remaining impurities. And later, we'll reheat the solidified tallow to evaporate any excess water for a clean, pure result. And this is what it's looking like after 15 to 20 minutes. There's still some chunks in here. They're very small though. We're getting there. After we take the tallow off of the heat, we're gonna let it cool completely. And then how I got it out of the pot, I kind of stuck the knife around and then chopped it in half and then released the water. I dumped it over onto a baking sheet, and then at the bottom, you're gonna see here all of the impurities. So this is why we render it with water, because the water helps all the impurities fall to the bottom. And whenever it solidifies, you can flip it over and easily scrape all of the impurities off. And that's what I do here. So just with a butter knife, you can easily just slide across the surface and get off all of the impurities. Okay, and it looks like this looks very clean. So I think that I'm gonna render it down one more time and then move on to the next process. And then the rendering process where you add water and then have it on the stovetop, this can be done as many times as you need to get all of the impurities out. Okay, and this is the final process here. So I got this out of the fridge and this is what it's looking like. It is beautiful, it is bright white. There's actually water underneath the tallow. So what I'm gonna do, like I did previously, I'm gonna cut into it and then release all the water, dump it out. And then I'm gonna put it on the stovetop, cook it down and evaporate any remaining water. Okay, let's go ahead and get this done. Let me bring you a little closer actually. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this. I'm just gonna go right down the middle. And look, you can already see the water coming out. Look at that. Okay, and I'm gonna actually throw on some gloves. Just grab a chunk. Look how beautiful that is, bright white. I'm gonna toss it over here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and chop it in half again. Let's go ahead and dump this out and then put the tallow back in. Okay, so I dumped the water out and then I dried up any water droplets. So let's put the tallow back in. And then I'm actually gonna cut this up a little more. That way it melts faster. And it's very easy to cut. And that is looking great. So let's go ahead and put it on the stovetop. So we have entered what I like to call the danger zone. So we're right below 200. So what I'm doing right now is just going to continuously stir, because water and oil, as you know, they do not like to mix and it will pop and overflow. So right now I'm just going to continuously stir until all of the water evaporates out. So as you can see, it looks a little bit cloudy, so I'm just gonna continue to stir until it evaporates and we get a more clear render. So I stirred for about 15 to 20 minutes on 220, and it got up to 250, so I went ahead and put it on low and just kept stirring until all the bubbles disappeared. And look how clear it is. It's looking really good. So it is done. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and make the skin products. So the balms, I'm going to make a rosemary balm, and then I'm gonna make a plain one. This one's gonna be for my pugs, for their little noses and paws. And then the other one will be for me. So this is gonna be a 1:3 ratio. Right here I have olive oil. You can use any liquid oil that you prefer. I'm just going with olive oil. That is what I have on hand. So I have half a cup in here. So since it's a 1:3 ratio, I am going to pour the half cup in here, and then the tallow is gonna go to the 2-cup line. And the reason why we wanna use a liquid oil is so whenever we're rubbing it in, it's a lot softer and smoother. So let's go ahead and do this. So this is, again, half a cup. We're gonna pour it all the way up to the 2-cup line with the tallow. And I'm gonna stir this up. This is gonna be the rosemary, 1 cup in here. To about right there, that's good. And then with this one, I have essential oil. I just got this at Walmart. I'm sure you could find it anywhere. So I chose rosemary. I'm gonna do about 10 drops. You want the smell of the essential oil to come through because the tallow is very potent by itself. See, and I still smell the tallow in it. I smell the rosemary as well. I'm gonna put a couple more drops. And I think that should do it. That smells nice. Awesome. So put that aside, and now just the plain one. Go ahead and cap this done. All right, there you go. I have my 2 jars here. Cheers. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for this to solidify, and then I'll be back to show you the color. Good morning. It is the next day, and this has hardened up. So I'm gonna test it out. So this is what I'm gonna use for my pugs' little noses and their paws. And I'm actually gonna test that out with y'all. Chiquita, come here. Okay, this is Chiquita. She's my little baby pug. So we're gonna put some of this on her little nose. You just need a little bit. It feels like Vaseline. Whoa! Shiny nose! Let's look at it. This one is the straight up cooking oil. Look at how white and gorgeous this looks. Let's take a look at it. And there it is. Okay, and then the last one was the rosemary balm. So I'm actually gonna test this one out with you guys. So let's do that. Oh, it smells amazing. And it does look a little bit yellow, but that is from the extra virgin olive oil. I'm actually gonna test it out on my tattoo. That way you can really see what it does. So here's what my tattoo looks like right now. Kind of ashy, as it does at times. And it's very soft. Very shiny. It smells very good. You don't really smell the beef tallow very much. It's mostly the rosemary and then a hint of the tallow. And I suppose if I were to do anything different with this one, I would put more of the essential oil in. I thought I was going too heavy with the 10 drops, but it could definitely use more, and I don't think that it would be overpowering at all. This smells so good. It's very soft. This is the first batch of tallow that I made. So with this one, I just cubed it up and I have it in the freezer. And so each time I need to use it, I just grab one of these little blocks out, throw it in the pan, and then I'm good to go. I'm trying out different things, you know, trying out different things here. And I have been liking this a lot. So this is another way you could do it. I'm sure this is gonna be a question that everyone will have. This is actually shelf stable, so it can be on the shelf for years and it will be just fine. You just have to make sure that you do this process and render it, or else it'll rot. Okay, and I also have 2 more. These were in the fridge because I have not rendered them completely yet. So you can see here, it's all the meat that has gathered at the bottom. So I do need to render these again. So since I do have so much of this, I want to maybe try candles or soaps. I think that would be really awesome. Maybe even like a shampoo soap bar. I've really been wanting to get more into natural soaps and shampoos. So this is definitely a starting point for that. All right, guys, this was such an awesome video and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.